Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new 2017 Ridgeline, our newest vehicle and their newest fan. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Welcome to Toronto. It is a beautiful Monday night as the Blue Jays return home. A 6-game homestand with an off day on Thursday. Tampa Bay is in town, and the last time the Rays were here, they swept the Blue Jays, outscoring them 31-7. But after that series, Tampa Bay went in the tank. The Blue Jays went on a streak, and they have gone in opposite directions since. Let's take a look at the lineup for Kevin Cash's Rays. They are 20 games under 500, 50 in the American League. Evan Longoria, he continues to hit well. He is the star of their ball club against R.A. Dickey tonight. Started 14 for 49 with 7 extra base hits and 8 RBIs. And how about Brad Miller? What a hot streak he's on. Miller with 6-game hit streak. He's hit 3 home runs during those 6 games. He has 20 home runs this season, and tonight he starts at first base for the first time this season.
And in the cleanup spot for this Tampa Bay Ray team, who hit a lot of home runs. This is R.A. Dickey coming off a big start for the Blue Jays. After the bullpen was overworked in that 14-inning game down in Houston, R.A. came up big with a solid start. He pitched 7 innings versus the Astros, and he gave up just 1 run. That was a 2-1 victory for the Blue Jays. He's facing the Rays for the 3rd time already this year, 21st time in his career. That's the most versus any opponent in his career. He's had some very good games against the Tampa Bay Rays. This year, in those 2 games, he's given up 14 hits, including 4 home runs. There's Josh Donaldson, who has just picked up his award as the Player of the Month for the Blue Jays.
The Honda Player of the Month for the month of July. Dickey is set. Logan Forsythe will step in, the leadoff man. Here's the first pitch of the game. He's throwing to Josh Tolley. It is in there for a strike, and we are underway. It is 24 degrees. Another good crowd on hand tonight. First of 6 games on this homestand. Tampa Bay for 3 and the Astros over the weekend. Bounced up the third base line. Dickey's not going to have a play. He throws a desperation toss toward first, but that'll be a swinging bunt for Logan Forsythe to start the game.
Okay, we've seen enough of that over the weekend in Kansas City, didn't we? Swinging and getting a base hit. The last time you were just talking about Tampa Bay was in town, everything they hit found a hole, and here they go again. First batter of the ball game taps it right out in front of home plate, and watch this thing basically stop on the turf. No chance for Donaldson, really no chance for R.A. Dickey. It'll go as an infield hit.
Dickey faced the Rays back in May in that 3-game series. He gave up 3 home runs in a 5-2 loss to Tampa Bay. Kevin Kiermaier hit 1 of those 3 home runs. Logan Morrison and Desmond Jennings went back-to-back in the 4th inning of that game, and then Kiermaier hit 1 later on in the game.
Those 2 players are on the disabled list. Those last 2 that you were talking about. It's a different Rays team than with the one we saw back in May.
This guy just came off the disabled list. He was on the DL for 7 weeks with a broken hand.
And they moved him up in the lineup in that number 2 spot, hoping to get a few more fastballs and start to turn around his season offensively.
Kevin Cash, young manager of the Rays, has had a disappointing season. There's no question about it. They have battled injuries and have not played well. There's a strike now, 3-1 to Kiermaier.
They are liable to do anything right here. The Tampa Bay Rays, they like to run, they like to swing, like to be aggressive.
With that, Dickey checks in on Forsythe. Forsythe has 6 stolen bases, but this is more of a start to runner possibility just to open up a hole for Kiermaier. Not running. Strike 2. Tampa Bay 4-15 on the road since June 20th. The road has not been kind to the Rays. They are 20-31 on the road. Tampa Bay has the season edge against the Blue Jays. They have won 6 of the 10 games these two clubs have played so far.
Yeah, like I said, that last series, they could do no wrong against the Blue Jays. They were never in any of those games.
There goes the runner. The ball is popped up. Tolle and Encarnacion, the first baseman, makes the catch as Forsythe goes back to first. Defensively, the Blue Jays have played very well. They have committed the second fewest errors in the American League behind the Astros. In the outfield, a different look. Daryl Siciliani in his second stint with the Blue Jays in left field. Melvin Upton Jr. in center. Jose Bautista in right. Donaldson, Tulowitzki, Travis, and Encarnacion. This has been the everyday lineup lately, and Josh Tolle catching for the second consecutive game tonight. He's got the knuckleballer.
There's Daryl Siciliani, first start in left field since he has been recalled. He's played all 3 outfield spots when he was down in Buffalo. He was telling me today. So I think the reason they were playing all those positions, just in case something happened like it did with Pilar, that he can fill in any one of the outfield positions for the Blue Jays.
This is Evan Longoria. Big swing and a miss. Longoria's having quite a season. 28 doubles, 2 triples, and 25 home runs. He's done a terrific job of rebounding. He doesn't have a lot of protection in this lineup, and he has to be very patient and selective. That
is 5 straight seasons now that Longoria has reached 25 home runs.
This ball is bounced into the seats down the right side. R.A. Dickey, he has not faced any hitter more than Evan Longoria. Longoria's got 56 plate appearances against Dickey. He's got a couple of home runs and 8 RBIs against him. One and 2. It's away from Tolle, goes back to the backstop, and Forsythe moves up.
R.A. will throw that knuckleball a little bit harder with 2 strikes, hoping to get the strikeout. That time it moved down and hit the dirt. There's the knuckleball grip, and it's a good one, but watch it move right at the end, and Tolle can't get down. It doesn't come up when it bounces off the dirt, so that should go as a wild pitch.
It is a wild pitch, charged to Dickey. 2-2 count to Longoria. There's ball 3 outside.
His toughest inning this year, R.A.'s, in terms of batting average, has been the first inning. As he establishes that control with the knuckleball, batters are hitting over 300. The only inning that they have hit 300 against him this year.
Longoria out in front, hooks it into the seats down the left side. Longoria's homered in back-to-back games. First time he's homered in consecutive games since June. First week of June, he hit home runs in 4 straight games. He's always been tough for the Blue Jays to figure out, hitting .310 against him this season. Foul tip.
Well, I'll tell you what, R.A.'s knuckleball's moving all over the place. Looks like it's got more movement than he had down in Houston. Houston, they just had a lot of guys who could swing and miss, and they didn't have these long at bats like Tampa is having. That thing is moving tonight.
Another 3-2 pitch. That's a pretty good pitch, and they don't get the call. The appeal down to first base. Clint Fagan, the first base umpire, says no swing, so Longoria takes ball 4. That was a pretty good pitch. Dickey's asking Larry Vanover, the veteran umpire, about the pitch, whether or not it was a called strike, and Vanover,
he said inside. Watch the knuckleball one more time moving. You got to stay with it. It's called up and in. There's the check swing, and that is not a swing from Longoria.
So it's first and second, 1 out. This is Brad Miller. I mentioned Miller with 20 home runs. He's got 18 doubles, 5 triples, and 20 home runs.
Now hitting in that cleanup spot for Tampa Bay. He is an aggressive swinger. Got that leg kick working now.
This has been a nice move for Miller as he has set a career high in home runs. He's tied his career high with 46 RBIs. He had 46 last season playing in Seattle.
Well, they wanted to beef up this offense just a little bit, made some offseason moves to hit more home runs. They're hitting more home runs. Just haven't really hit with runners in scoring position this year.
They've hit 144 home runs, the most ever they've hit through 110 games. The previous high was 140 when they did that in 2009. But you mentioned they're not hitting with runners on.
Yeah, that's been the problem for Kevin Cash's team and Derek Shelton, the hitting coach, trying to figure out that. They had a game the other day where they had 14 runners in scoring position and had 1 hit. They were playing Kansas City. They had 1 runner in scoring position. Kansas City won the game.
2-2 pitch to Miller. This is fouled into the seats, out of play. Well, Brad Miller, we mentioned his previous high in home runs was 11. He had 11 home runs last season with the Mariners, and you can see he has been hot lately. Since June 11th, only Edwin Encarnacion has hit more home runs than Brad Miller. He is tied with Dozier, Kepler, and Justin Turner of the Dodgers in the majors. Max Kepler has come out of nowhere too for the Twins.
Every time you turn on the news, you see that guy hitting a home run. Same thing with this guy.
Mikey Matuk is on deck. 1 out. Another full count. Strike 3 called. Barry Vanover took a little extra time to make that call. Miller thought it was upstairs. Dickey didn't get the call on Longoria. He gets the call on Miller.
Well, he might have caught a break right here. Evan Longoria, no. Brad Miller, yes. Let's see from the side. I mean, in terms of the strike zone definition, that was a letter high knuckleball.
Rarely called up there.
Rarely called, yes.
2 outs now. Mikey Matuk. He's just been called back from the minor leagues. Batting 176. It's the first game Matuk has played against the Blue Jays this season.
Told you that the Rays have lost a couple of outfielders. Brandon Guyer, who was always a thorn in the side of the Blue Jays, he's been traded to the Cleveland Indians. And the other guy who used to rake against the Blue Jays, Desmond Jennings, is on the disabled list. So Mikey Matuk will take his place.
That goes off Tolley's glove, back to the backstop. The runners move up to second and third.
That is always an indication if R.A. Dickey has a good knuckleball, wild pitches and pass balls, and he's got a good one so far here in the first inning.
He's got 1 of each in the first inning. That is a pass ball charge to Tolley. That's his 15th pass ball of the season. So Dickey's thrown a wild pitch, and now Tolley's been charged with a pass ball. 1-2 to Matuk. Took a shot down and away and missed. Matuk has 4 career home runs against the Blue Jays. Hit his first big league home run against Mark Burley here last April.
It's a great approach so far here in the first inning from this team. This is an aggressive team, aggressive swinging team, the Tampa Bay Rays, and right now they're trying to wait out R.A. Dickey.
3-2. That'll load the bases. Ball 4. Second walk of the inning issued by Dickey. Well, you made a great point about the first inning problems for Dickey, just getting adjusted to the strike zone, and he's also had problems pitching here at Rogers Center this year.
Yes, he has. 2-8 with an ERA of 5.40. He's given up 26 home runs this year, 15 of them right here at Rogers Center. And right now you can see the OPS a little bit higher here at home. Tampa Bay is just trying to wait him out, make him throw that knuckleball for a strike.
There's a first pitch strike. Franklin has 17 RBIs in 27 games. He was recalled from AAA Durham on July 30th. This is his third stint back with the big club. Dickey trying to leave the bases loaded. There's a good knuckler. Logan Forsythe had a swinging bunt up the third base line. That started the inning. And then after a Kiermaier pop out, Longoria walked, and Miller struck out, and Matuk walked.
Throwing a pass ball, throwing a wild pitch, and we got the bases low, but he can get out of it with one pitch.
Good job by Tolle. That one had a lot of late movement. 2-2 now. R.A. Dickey's making his 125th start as a Blue Jay. He has been durable. He takes the mound. He doesn't miss any time. And in my mind, that last start was a very impactful start down in Houston. How about that? Dickey gets a couple of strikeouts. Tampa Bay gets a base hit. They leave the bases loaded. We'll go to the bottom of the first, top of the order for the Blue Jays. Back home at Rogers Center, they have played very well here at home. 32-24 for the season. They are 63-49, a game behind the front-running Baltimore Orioles. Just take a look at the lineup, the way it stacks up tonight. Devin Travis got a 4-game hit streak, and look at those numbers. 8 for 17. He's got double 3 home runs, and he's driven in 5. And then Josh Donaldson against tonight's pitcher. He only has 3 hits in 14 at-bats, but all 3 have left the yard. 3 home runs for Donaldson against a red-hot Jake Odorizzi.
Yeah, you better bring your A game tonight against Jake Odorizzi. 23 starts. He comes to Rogers Center on a hot streak. 3 straight scoreless starts, which is tied for the club record. He has now thrown 20 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings, which is a third of an inning shy for the longest by a Ray pitcher this year. He hasn't given up a run since July the 17th.
Says Devin Travis, he had quite a road trip. He went 11 for 31 on the road trip, a .355 average. Drives this one to right. They were shaded in that direction, and he's going to be off to the races. Matuk dove for it. Travis is around second. He's going to end up at third with a stand-up triple. His first triple of the season.
You know, the Rays did a good job of scouting Devin Travis. Said it looked like we're going to face a red-hot hitter. We're going to play him to right field. We're going to feed him fastballs away. And it looked like Devin hit the ball right into the shift. But Matuk made a mistake. You either catch that ball or you back off and play it into a single. He played it into a triple. Once he dove for that ball and he missed it. Really didn't come close to knocking that ball down, and Blue Jays are in business early.
First major league triple for Devin Travis. What a way to start the game. Jose Bautista drives this one to the alley. Matuk's going to make the catch, and dragging up is Devin Travis. So Bautista needed just one pitch to cash in that leadoff triple.
And there goes the scoreless streak for Jake Odorizzi. That didn't take long. 2 batters in. Bautista waiting for the first pitch he can drive into the outfield. Gets a fastball down the middle. Devin Travis will score the run again. That's another game where he has scored the first run of the game for the Blue Jays.
Josh Donaldson. Donaldson batting .296 for the season. 27 homers and 77 RBIs. So many of the Blue Jays had a rough road trip. The team hit just .193 on the 7-game road trip. Donaldson 6 for 22, a .273 average. He had 2 homers and 3 ribbies.
John Gibbons was talking about that. He said we got to get home and we got to get hot. We got to get on a nice hot streak offensively.
2-1 pitch to Donaldson outside. Now it's 3-1.
I think there was some disappointment amongst the Blue Jays how well they pitched, but they could only go 4-3 on that road trip.
Full count now to Donaldson. Pat, you mentioned Devin Travis scoring often early. He's had a leadoff hit and a run scored in 4 of the last 5 games.
A couple of those games he knocked himself in with a leadoff home run.
Donaldson shoots it to the first baseman, Brad Miller, normally a shortstop, making his first start of the season at first. Take a look at the rest of the defense for Tampa Bay. They've had to shake things up because of injuries. Nick Franklin is in left field. Kevin Kiermaier spent 7 weeks on the DL with a broken hand. Mikey Matuk is in right field. Longoria, Beckham, Forsythe, and Miller around the infield and behind the plate. Bobby Wilson. We have seen Wilson catch for 3 different teams this year.
Go figure. Brad Miller, first time ever at first base, taking over there. He was their everyday shortstop. 14 years later, they have moved him over to first base.
Encarnacion goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Edwin hit his 30th home run down in Houston to give him 5 consecutive seasons of 30 or more home runs. That's the second longest such streak in franchise history. This one is back, and gone. Number 31 for Double E. Welcome home, Blue Jays.
You know, maybe all it took was a little home cooking for the Jays and get into some familiar surroundings. They've had a triple, they've had a sacrifice fly, they hit the ball hard to the first baseman, and now Edwin delivers home run number 31. RBI number 92 for Edwin. You can see his eyes lighting up after that one.
Home run number 299 for Edwin in his career. Bautista hit his 300th career home run on the road trip. He followed it up with 301, and this is a beautiful swing. Got under it just a tap.
That's the pitch.
Got enough of it.
It's the pitch from Odorizzi that's been so good for him lately. That changeup. It's a high arcing home run. Yeah, that one's like, nah, I got all of that one.
He is a big, strong man. 299 career home runs now. I didn't really hit it good. He said, no, when I hit it good, you'll know it.
Yeah, look at the spot on that bat. You can see where he hit it. It's right on the sweet spot.
One and 2 to Saunders. Now it's even at 2-2. The buzz is back at Rogers Center. Devin Travis with a leadoff triple. Bautista cashed him in with a sac fly. 1 out later. Double E goes deep.
Is that another solo home run by the Blue Jays?
17 now. 17 solo home runs in a row.
Go figure.
Just keep them coming. Sooner or later, somebody's going to get on base. Saunders takes ball 4. Blue Jays making Odorizzi throw pitches here in the first. The last team to hit 17 solo home runs in a row, the San Francisco Giants did in 2011. They would go on to hit 21 consecutive solo home runs. I guess if you hit him every day, it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah, just keep hitting them. Sooner or later, somebody's going to be on base.
Troy Tulowitzki goes after the first pitch. Tulowitzki was 4 for 14 on the road trip. He had just 1 RBI. Two big guys cashing in against Odorizzi early in the ball game. R.A. Dickey, what a job he did, stranding the bases loaded.
Tell you how it's been as that ball gets by Bobby Wilson, and Saunders will move down to second base. This is the 4th time this season that the Blue Jays have faced Odorizzi, so they know him, familiar with him. Ball down in the dirt. Wilson goes down. Looked like he was in between, like that ball was going to bounce, or if he catch it on a fly.
He got fooled. They got crossed up, and that's why he's out to the mound now. Wilson just making his 2nd start with Tampa Bay. He has played with Texas this season, made 39 starts with the Rangers, 4 with the Tigers, and 2 here with Tampa Bay. That's a pass ball charge to Bobby Wilson. Looked like he got crossed up.
Yeah.
He was expecting the ball to break as he was shifting to his right.
Still couldn't knock it down, so the Blue Jays have another runner in scoring position. See if they can take advantage of it. Finish that thought about Odorizzi. 4th time that they have faced the Blue Jays coming into this game. They had only had 8 hits against them all season long. There are his career numbers in 9 starts, 3-2 with a .333 earned run average, but 17 2/3 innings this year, just 8 hits before this first inning.
Tulowitzki takes the 2nd walk issued by Odorizzi this inning. Coming into this game, the Blue Jays in 9 previous starts against Odorizzi had had just 193. And as you mentioned, he came into this game on a roll.
Yeah, red hot. I mean, pitching as well as he has in his career. The Blue Jays are working him over here in the first inning. 22 pitches already.
This is Daryl Siciliani in his 2nd stint with the Blue Jays, starting in left field. He was with the Blue Jays June 17th through the 22nd. He made 1 start. That was against Arizona in right field. He was in the ball game in Baltimore as a defensive replacement.
He was swinging a hot bat when he was down in Buffalo before they called him up. He was out of necessity. With Pilar going on the disabled list, they needed another body, another outfielder, and he has played some center field.
Siciliani got into 39 games last year with the Mets. Fouls this one into the seats. This season at AAA Buffalo, he batted .268 with 14 doubles, 9 homers, and 32 ribbies. He also added 10 stolen bases. He was with the Blue Jays throughout spring training, got sent to Buffalo, hurt his shoulder right out of the chute, and missed significant time early in the season.
He had a great spring for the Blue Jays, and he came this close to making the team.
The communication problem between Odorizzi and Bobby Wilson.
Yeah, Siciliani's going to call time. Wilson's going to go out there and just check with his pitcher. Hey, what do you want to do here? It's 1-2. We got to put him away.
The Blue Jays, with 2 runs here in the first, have now scored 81 runs in the first inning. That's the second most in the majors in the first inning. Strike 3 called. They put their heads together, came up with a plan, and end the inning. But the Blue Jays send 7 men to the plate in the first. Bautista with a sac fly drives in the first run, and then Edwin Encarnacion hits his 31st home run. The Parrot is alive and well. Dickey has been an innings eater since he joined the Blue Jays in 2013. He has thrown more innings than any starter. Mark Burley was second. Jay Happ in his return has closed in on 400. Drew Hutchison, who has since gone to the Pittsburgh Pirates, but R.A. Dickey has been Mr. Reliable as far as going out and pitching a lot of innings for the Blue Jays.
Pencil him in. He's going to make his start. He's going to give you a great effort every time out there. 34 starts the first year with the Blue Jays, 30 more the next year, 33 last year. This is start number 24 for R.A. this season. You know, whenever there's a problem also, if a guy needs to be skipped, the guy needs to go on short rest, 3 days rest, this is the guy who always seems to step up for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, he has been terrific in the ability to pitch in between starts if needed. This is Steven Souza Jr. He fouls it back.
We saw him the other day down in Houston in that 14-inning game actually go down to the bullpen and start warming up. He was going to come in if that thing went any longer. Threw a couple of pitches. Blue Jays scored a run. Houston scored. Blue Jays lost, and he came back and pitched a whale of a game the next night.
And there have been a couple of situations where Blue Jays starters were shaky as to whether or not they could make the start after they went down to the bullpen to warm up, and Dickey put his spikes on a couple different times and went down there just in case that starter couldn't answer the bell. Bounce foul by Steven Souza Jr.
Well, he's been through the wars. He's been there. He'll be sitting on the bench, and John Gibbons or Pete Walker will look down there in those kind of games and just nod at him and go get your spikes up. Go get yourself ready.
R.A. coming into this season has had 5 consecutive 200+ innings seasons. His first year at 200 innings in New York with the Mets in 2011. He loses Souza with a leadoff walk. That's the 3rd walk so far for Dickey.
Last time out, he didn't walk a batter in 7 innings against Houston. Scored a run in the 7th inning. That was it.
Well, the knuckleball is so temperamental. You just don't know how it's going to act from pitch to pitch, inning to inning, game to game.
Both of the manager and the pitching coach looking at their rosters, trying to figure things out here. It's only the 2nd inning.
Tim Beckham Jr. goes after the first pitch and misses. Beckham is 2 for 6 against Dickey, and this is probably the most challenging starter the manager and coach have to deal with, because there's no indication of when things might go south for Dickey.
Yeah, you can't look at the scoreboard and see his velocity drop. You know what you can do? You can read swings. You can talk to the catcher and ask him how that thing is moving. But you have to have faith in this guy when you see the ball going all over the place.
Well, just like the first inning, he was able to strike out Nick Franklin to strand the bases loaded. They didn't hit him hard. A swinging bunt and 2 walks. 0-2 to Beckham. Hits this one to center. Melvin Upton Jr. drifts back, makes the play, 1 down.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Rogers 4K TV. Get closer to the action with 4 times the resolution of HD alone.
Bobby Wilson, the catcher, will step in. Wilson for the season, batting .248.
Good pitch right where you want it, down low. You can get the ground ball here and get out of this inning. Bobby Wilson, I thought that there was maybe 2 or 3 different Bobby Wilsons who are catchers in the American League, because this is the 3rd time, 3rd different team that we have seen Wilson this year.
Yeah, Wilson started the season with the Tigers, and it's been interesting. Swinging the bat well over his last 6 games, but he has bounced around. I talked to him earlier today and said, man, you can play till you're 35, 36 years old the way you catch. Everybody needs backup catchers.
He's from Dunedin, Florida.
Yeah, he's back home now with Tampa Bay. He was traded by Texas March 29th this season to Detroit for Brian Holiday. And then in May, he was traded by the Tigers to Texas for Chad Bell, a minor leaguer. And then he was picked up by Tampa Bay off the waiver wire on August 4th. On the ground, Donaldson goes to second for 1. Quick turn in time. What a job by Devin Travis. You got to know who's running. Donaldson ranged far to his left, threw quickly to Travis, who took care of the rest.
In center field for the next couple of weeks, because Kevin Pillar today was placed on the 15-day DL with a sprained left thumb. If you missed it, he ended up spraining his thumb sliding into second base on the weekend. Now, last year we'd seen him wearing one of these gloves on his hand that we like to call the oven mitt. It helps protect the thumb when you're sliding into second. I asked Kevin today about why he hasn't been wearing it, and he says for him, he doesn't have a problem with pain, so unless something's really bothering him, he doesn't like to protect it. He looks at the shin guard that he wears if he hurts his leg. He says that last year when he wore it, he'd wear it when he did have a sore thumb. He says when he does return from the DL, he'll probably wear it for a while, but it does tend to get in the way. In fact, he said he missed a sign this year, or last year, when he had this on because it's so big, so he tends to not like wearing these things. And guys, as you know, Kevin Pillar has avoided the DL this year and his entire career, not because he hasn't been hurt, but because this guy's got such a strong threshold for pain.
Well, Kevin Pillar has suffered a sprained ulnar collateral ligament in his thumb. And hopefully he will be back at the end of the 15 days. But that injury is commonly referred to as a skier's thumb, because it happens oftentimes with your ski poles. If you fall down and that ski pole grabs your thumb, it'll twist it back and tear that ligament. It's a very common injury, and we see it more and more because of the head-first slides. But they did an MRI and revealed the sprained thumb, and George Poulos, of course, the head trainer, very concerned about the injury.
His hope, he was telling me today, is, you know, he's hoping to get through this series and then play on Friday. Well, that wasn't going to happen. Now the hope is after 15 days, and he's like, remember, we've already used one of those days as Upton singles, is to come back, tape it up, and try and play. But we'll see. That is really tough to play the game of baseball when you've got a thumb injury like that.
Yeah, any time you have any kind of hand injury, of course, baseball is all related to your hands.
Well, we're hoping George Poulos can figure out a tape job to put on that hand so Pilar can play in 2 weeks. He's a tough guy.
Yeah, he's a very tough guy. He played last year with a broken hand. Nobody even knew about it. So Melvin Upton Jr. has a base hit against his former team, and he can run. He hasn't been on base very often with the Blue Jays, but with San Diego, he had 20 steals in 25 attempts.
And you know he wants to do something against his former team.
Melvin played 8 seasons with Tampa Bay. Played 966 games in a Rays uniform. Of course, he went to the World Series in 2008 with Tampa Bay when they played the Phillies.
And had a big playoff series that year. Very wet, very muddy around first base. You can see Upton wiping off his hands. It's wet. They really watered down the track today. It's going to be tough to run it. Look at his pants already. Filthy.
Josh Thole at the plate. Josh had a single in yesterday's game in Kansas City, but he certainly hit the ball much better than that would suggest. He hit the ball hard 3 times before he got the single. He flied out to left, flied out to center, and was robbed of a base hit by Alcides Escobar on a ground ball up the middle.
And he said, all I'm going to do is just keep swinging. That's all I can do. I can't guide it. I asked him what he did with his lucky charm, because he must have lost it, because he didn't have any luck yesterday hitting.
Ball on his strike to the Blue Jays catcher. He's batting 9th. 2-0 Jays. They scored 2 runs in the bottom of the first. Upton's getting a pretty good read on Odorizzi.
You know what he's doing? He's getting a very good lead over there at first base. It's a step and a dive. That's how far you want to get off. If you are a base stealer over at first base, he's got a nice aggressive lead, and if he throws back over there, it's 1 step and dive to the outside part of that bag.
Blue Jays have 2 runs on 3 hits. Upton with the leadoff single. Melvin hit 256 with San Diego. Inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes, nobody out. We are in the bottom of the second.
We're both going to fall into that.
Yeah,
you know,
he's been around a long time as B.J. Upton. Now he has taken his given name, Melvin Upton Jr. So he really got jammed, but fouls it out of play.
The threat of a steal over there at first base is buying a lot of fastballs for Josh Thole, isn't it? He has been pumping fastball after fastball up in the strike zone to Josh. Just the threat of a steal attempt at first base. They might not here with the left-hander up.
Pretty close that time, man. Brad Miller, you can see him look into the dugout to suggest he feels like he might have tagged Upton out. So the Rays are going to have a look at it. Kevin Cash out on the warning track.
One more time. There's your step. You see him slip just a little bit, that left foot. He's on.
Looks like he's back in safely.
Watch the left foot of Upton as he steps to go and how he slips. Look at the dirt go right out from underneath him. He just can't get that spring and that jump to get back to first base.
Yeah, that was a great illustration of how he lost traction with that left foot.
Wow, see, that's what they got to get rid of right there, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been saying it all year long. If you think that the call is wrong, challenge it right in the field, but you shouldn't have the ability to have 35-40 seconds to review every single angle. They got him this time. Nope. He was leaning that time, and you're right, he's having a tough time with his footing, and he's still upset about the mud.
He's got to call timeout and wipe his hands off again. He was slipping as he was coming around first base, also on his base hit. They put a ton of water on this field. Watch him hit the bag and then start to put on the brakes, and zoop, he loses his footing. There's a lot of water and a lot of soft dirt around first base right now.
Totally hits it high and deep to center. Kiermaier, one of the best in the business, breezes back and makes an easy play of it. Kevin Kiermaier, a terrific defender in center, runs it down.
We've been there from the start. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays, proud fan since 1977.
Run away back to the top of the order. Devin Travis hit his first big league triple, his first time up tonight. Blue Jays might have found their leadoff guy.
I think so. John Gibbons was talking about that the other day. He said he certainly deserves the chance to hit up there. He's put up good at bats, hit the ball all over the field. And power. He's been showing off the muscles lately. Well, if you're going to go, this is the at bat I think you can go on right here.
Fly ball to right. Mikey Matuk was shaded in that direction. Makes a catch. 2 down.
You can see how wet it is around first base. Those are the pants as he dives back. I mean, that's mud. Yeah, that's not dirt. That's mud.
The Blue Jays have had trouble. Their grounds crews had trouble coming up with the right amount of water to add to this infield before the start of the games. Jose Bautista drove in the first run of the ball game with a sac fly. Hit that ball to right center. Right fielder made the catch. But if he makes a good throw there, it's going to be close.
He's going. He's going at some point here in this at bat against Bautista. And it looked like he was leaning just a little bit. Watch. You see him start to go to the right just a little bit, and if that throw is on the other side of the bag, he's going to be out. Still not getting the footing. Watch the left foot one more time. Slip out from underneath. It's just, there's no spring or no push off.
Yeah, he doesn't have any traction at all with that left foot. Bautista hits it off the end of the bat. Nick Franklin makes the catch. The inning is over. The Blue Jays get a leadoff single. They leave a base runner. Will go to the third. 2-0 Jays.
Bat, where you could win a spot to play on field at a Blue Jays fan camp in September. Visit participating Boston Pizza locations and enter when purchasing any Budweiser and beer combo. Go to BlueJays.com/BudBP contest for details and rules. Guys, I can see why Pilar felt that glove to be a little uncomfortable. It's heavy.
Yeah, that mitten that a lot of guys use, Rajai Davis uses it a lot, and you see it's like a skier's mitten, but what happens is the league has to approve it to make sure there's not an artificial extension beyond the length of your fingers.
Help you get to the bag just a little bit quicker.
Desmond Jennings wears one as well from time to time. He is right now on the disabled list. This is the leadoff man, Logan Forsythe. He had that swinging bunt up the third base line to lead things off. Well, R.A. Dickey got through his toughest inning. You had mentioned how he's always struggled in the first inning. Well, he had trouble, but he got out of it. He stranded the bases loaded in the first.
Only inning this year where opponents are hitting over 300 against him. And I guess it takes an inning to find that knuckleball, find yourself out on that mound, get through it, and hopefully smooth sailing the rest of the way.
Well, and we mentioned how trying it is for a manager and a pitching coach to go along with R.A. during the course of the game, because his velocity doesn't drop. His breaking ball doesn't spin, but you never know when the knuckleball is going to stop moving. That's a pretty good pitch. Dickey wanted it.
Yeah, small strike zone tonight for Dickey, and Tampa Bay is doing a good job of making him work. I think he really wanted that one. Felt like that one was a strike.
Throws another one in there. Foul off.
You know what he does in that first inning, Buck, is he judges to find out what's working for him. You know, if the hard knuckleball's working, he'll use that. He might throw more fastballs. We've seen him throw some changeups and some sinkers and some curveballs. Let's see what is working. Right now, he's just throwing fastballs.
Tolley hangs on to the foul tip. 3 strikeouts for Dickey. That's one out here in the third.
Little two-seamer right there, but it's up, gets on the side of it, foul tip, and Tolley holds on to it. 3rd strikeout already for R.A.
Center fielder Kevin Kiermaier. Kiermaier broke his hand making a diving catch coming in, and bent his left hand back and broke 2 bones on the back of his left hand. I saw him today and asked about the injury. He showed me the scar. It's about 3.5 inches long. So he had to have surgery to repair those fractures in his left hand. This is popped up. This time it's in fair territory off the bat of Kiermaier. Donaldson right near the mound makes the catch. Evan Longoria took the first of the 3 walks Dickey has issued so far. Two outs. There's a slower one right off the end of the bat. That's a fair ball. Easy inning for R.A. Dickey. 3 up, 3 down, top of the third. Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead early.
Baseball live on your phone and tablet with MLB.com At Bat app. Customized at bats feature the Blue Jays who stay up to the moment at any moment with scores, news, live game video highlights, and much more. Download MLB.com At Bat. It is the #1 app for live baseball. We go to the bottom of the third inning with Buck Martinez and Pat Tabler.
Thank you very much, Barry Davis. This is the 40th season of Blue Jays baseball, and they'll commemorate the 40 seasons with their third and final celebration on Sunday. And it'll be the pitchers who are acknowledged on Sunday for 40 seasons of Blue Jays baseball. That'll be in a pregame ceremony. Pretty impressive list of some of the pitchers that are coming back. Roy Halladay, Pat Hentgen, Dave Steed, Juan Guzman, Mike Timlin, Dwayne Ward, and Tom Hinkie.
Wow.
And from what I understand, they're still working on Roger Clemens. Wouldn't that be something?
Wow. I'd have to buy a ticket for that game.
No, you can sit next
Oh,
to
that's
me.
right. I'm working. I'll be here. Oh, they're going to come early, aren't they, on that day? They're giving away bobbleheads.
Yeah, it's going to be a great weekend, and they've done a great job. Arnie Starkman puts together a great show, and it's going to be interesting to see those guys. We haven't seen Halladay for a while since he left, of course. And Hentgen, Steve, Guzman, all terrific starting pitchers.
You've seen them all. Now, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you've seen them all over the years. You've been around here longer than anybody.
Ground ball through the right side. Donaldson has a base hit.
That's how you use the shift to your advantage right there. They're going to overshift you, shoot the ball the other way, come up with the base hit. But I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you have a top 5 of all time of Blue Jay pitchers?
Oh, absolutely. And you know, look at Steve, Halladay, Hentgen. Jim Clancy is a guy that not many people talk about. Jim Clancy's among the leaders in a lot of categories.
We were looking at that the other day, going through the record books, and Jim Clancy on the pitching side is everywhere.
Yeah.
If he wasn't in the top 5, he was just outside it. He was everywhere behind Dave Steed.
Edwin Encarnacion homered his first time up, his 31st home run of the season. It was the 17th consecutive solo home run hit by the Blue Jays. That's the second longest streak in the last 25 years. The Giants in 2011 hit 21 straight solo home runs. This is popped in the air, shallow right field. The Took coming in, the right fielder waits for it, and Encarnacion's retired. Michael Saunders walked his first time up. Blue Jays trying to get Saunders going a bit. It's been a bit of a slow start to the second half for Saunders.
Showed some signs in Kansas City of going the other way. I think that's where his strength is, hitting the ball the other way, especially if they're going to pitch him out there. Double down the left field line, single to center field. And they're playing him in a little bit of a shift. I was watching Tim Beckham, the shortstop. He told Longoria, if you get a ball, I'm going to be the guy in the middle of the diamond in turn 2. You can see Forsythe, the second baseman, he's too far away from the bag to turn 2. It's going to be Beckham, the shortstop.
Saunders coming into this game since the All-Star break, batting just 145, 9 for 62. Of course, he was an All-Star, one of 5 Blue Jays that went to the All-Star game. One and two.
Boy, leadoff hit. They got that last inning and couldn't move him around. They got another leadoff hit this inning in Donaldson.
Ball in the dirt. Donaldson will hold it first.
That's been the problem over the last week or so. Sustained rallies. They haven't been able to keep the innings going with a walk or 2 hits in a row.
Yeah, they haven't had many consecutive at-bats where the at-bats have ended up with a base hit. Nothing Blue Jays. They've scored 2 runs in the first inning. Orizzi was uncharacteristically wild. He had 2 walks in the first inning. And when Encarnacion hit a home run, Bautista had a sac fly. Troy Tulowitzki walked his first time up. Michael Sanders walks for a second straight at bat.
Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Proud partners of the Toronto Blue Jays. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
This is the first game since June 30th against the Tigers that Odorizzi has walked 3 in a game. Troy Tulowitzki, you can bet he's going to be loaded up for this first pitch.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind them to pop one out of here now.
He pops it up, got a pretty good pitch to hit. It's an infield fly if fair. It's a foul ball caught by Miller. Tulowitzki was sitting on that pitch. He just got underneath it.
Yeah, that was a good pitch to hit too. And he lifted it, hit it straight up in the air. Odorizzi doesn't have that great command that we have seen over his last couple of starts. I mean, he has been dominant. 2 hits or fewer in 5 of his starts this season. That's the most in the American League. When he is on, he can downright shut you down.
He had 4 walks in 5 starts in July. He's walked 3 so far tonight. Daryl Siciliani. He has 1 major league home run that came last year with the Mets. He hit that on June 14th against Mike Foltynewicz of the Braves. Fly ball into center, not deep. Kiermaier makes the catch. Blue Jays strand the pair. Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead, and here comes the ultimate cleanup crew. Brought to you by Home Hardware's exclusive line of the ultimate hard-hitting and tough-on-grind cleaning products.
Beautiful night for baseball here at Rogers Center and enjoying those big comfy green chairs in the TV comfort zone. Our guests of TV. And hey, do you want to be WestJet's guest and watch the Blue Jays live from the flight deck? Well, find the WestJet fan wagon in Toronto and you could be next. Follow hashtag WestJet fan wagon on Twitter for more details. Buck?
That is the place to be at Rogers Center, the WestJet flight deck. There's no doubt about that. Brad Miller goes after the first pitch and hits it into right. Bautista, he's going to make the throw. One hop, but late as Miller ends up at second with a leadoff double, his 19th double of the season.
He is a very aggressive hitter, not waiting around. He struck out on a high knuckleball his first time up with a couple of runners on. He wasn't going to wait around this time to get the 2 strikes. Golfs that ball into the gap or down the line. Bautista one hops the ball in, and Miller's got a double.
Mikey Matuk, right fielder, walked in the first inning. Leadoff double. The Rays, we mentioned their power, and they've hit some home runs this year. Matuk has not homered this season, but he's got 4 home runs for his career against the Blue Jays. It's this ball to left field. Siciliani's not going to get it. It's off the wall. Miller's in to score, and Matuk ends up at second. And the Rays have cut the lead in half.
Okay. Boy, that ball was hit hard right there. The ball floated over the middle of the plate, and Matuk, like you said, he becomes a different hitter when he faces the Blue Jays. One more time. That's a good, solid swing. He will exchange places with the leadoff hitter Miller as he comes around to score.
Matuk has 4 home runs, as I mentioned, 3 of those against Mark Burley. The other he hit off Ryan Tepera. Just missed hitting a home run. That's just foul outside of first. This is Nick Franklin. Two-one ball game. R.A. Dickey has allowed a run on 3 hits. Back-to-back doubles here in the 4th. Fly ball to right. Bautista coming in, and he'll make the catch. What a wait. Well, Tampa Bay, we mentioned they swept the Blue Jays the last time they were here in the middle of May, and then they really hit rock bottom. Since June 16th, they have just 14 wins. 14-33. Arizona, Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Milwaukee, all the bottom 5 in baseball since June 16th, and it's been a disappointing second half of the season for Kevin Cash and the Rays.
They just finished up a series against Minnesota. The 2 teams with the worst record, believe it or not, in the American League. Both of them have just 45 wins. You know, you were mentioning the last time this team was here, the Rays, that was back on May 16th through the 18th, and they really took it to the Blue Jays, sweeping them 3-0. Since then, they've had the worst record in major leagues. And the Blue Jays have had the best record in the major leagues. Remember that? They went to Minnesota, and that's when the Blue Jays took off. They changed their lineup up just a little bit.
Yeah, that series against Tampa Bay here at Rogers Center ended on the 18th of May. Then they went to Minnesota, and that's when the players got together and approached John Gibbons about changing the lineup, putting Bautista in the leadoff spot.
Well, since then, they have had the best record. They've gone 44-26. One of the things that the Rays did in that series here, like I told you, they could do no wrong against the Blue Jays. They hit 375 with runners in scoring position. Every time there was a runner out there, it seemed like they were coming up with big hit after big hit. 31 runs. A club record for a 3-game series against Toronto.
Yeah, they outscored the Blue Jays 31-7 in those 3 games. Steven Souza Jr. High fly ball, not that deep. Upton comes in. Now he backs up. Tagging at second is Matuk. He takes off. Here's the throw to third. It's a good throw. Not in time. Right on the money. Josh Donaldson made a swipe tag at Matuk as he was sliding into third. Upton can throw. He had 16 assists as a center fielder for the Rays in 2008. That was his career high.
You got 8 of them this year. Backs up and throws a strike to third base. Watch the swipe tag right there from Josh. I don't think the Blue Jays are going to take a look at this one. He is in there. Never came off the base.
So now there are 2 outs with Tim Beckham coming to the plate. Matuk is at third now. A run in here in the 4th. Dickey threw a wild pitch in the 1st. Tolley was charged with a pass ball also in the 1st inning. The knuckleball is such a finesse pitch that Dickey understands more than anybody that you can't try to muscle it your way through these tough situations.
No, that's why I like that last pitch he threw at last inning against Longoria. Took a little something off of the knuckleball, threw it about 65 miles an hour, and he was way out in front.
Beckham tried to check, went around. 1-2 now.
There are some guys you can do that to, and there are some guys that you can't do that to. And Tim Beckham is loaded up on that right leg. You can throw him a good knuckleball, and he wants to do some damage.
Takes this one down the right side. That's a fair ball. Matuk's in to score. Beckham is headed to second with the 3rd Rays double of the inning, and it's a tie ball game.
Boy, sometimes it just doesn't pay, does it, to make a good pitch? That ball was well off of the plate. A knuckleball that moved very late, and it was off the plate. But Beckham, with 2 strikes, just cuts his swing down. There's a knuckleball. Look where it is. Cuts his swing down and just makes contact. Barely finishes his swing. And that's an RBI double.
RBI number 16 for Beckham. His 9th double. 3 doubles in the inning. And Bobby Wilson, the catcher, lines out to Donaldson. But Tampa Bay has tied at top of the 4th. 2 runs on 3 hits.
our next Friday Fan Festival presented by Bacardi. It's August 12th, and it is a DJ showcase before the game with Jed Harper, DJ Deluxe, and your boy Brian. The patio opens at 4:30, and then you can watch the Blue Jays and the Astros. Go to bluejays.com for tickets. In the house tonight, of course, as usual, is our pal Geddy Lee, and I'm putting it out there right now, guys. I think we need to get a Rush reunion one-nighter for a Friday Fan Festival. What do you think? I know they're retired and all, but wouldn't that be cool?
Take care of that, would you, Barry? Run down there and talk to Geddy about doing that.
I'll make a cool.
Melvin Upton Jr. hits it one hop to the shortstop, Tim Beckham, and he's retired. Jake Odorizzi has settled down, allowed 2 hits and a walk in the last 2 innings.
He's given up his share of base runners. Blue Jays still have not been able to clutch up and come up with a hit with runners in scoring position. How many times have you seen that in the past, where a pitcher's on the ropes the first 3 innings of a ball game, you let him off, and all of a sudden they put it on cruise control?
Especially a guy that's been throwing the ball as well as Odorizzi. That hit Tolley on the back foot. He was trying to get out of the way, and he'll go to first base, hit by the pitch.
Well, they had the best in baseball, Brandon Geyer, at doing this, not moving. That's a curveball. You can see Josh, he's not moving. Take one for the team right off that back foot.
I guarantee you, if he could have moved it, he would have. That hurts. 1 out now, back to the top of the order, Devin Travis. He goes after the first pitch.
Pretty apparent what the Tampa Bay Rays are trying to do to Devin Travis and how they want to pitch to him. Pitch him away, play him away. The outfield shifted over to right field. Everything to Devin in 3 at-bats has been away.
The Rays have gotten great starting pitching since the All-Star break. They've allowed 3 runs or fewer in their last 18 games. That's a club record for games with starters allowing 3 runs or fewer. Starters are 9-3 during that stretch. The last time they failed to hold an opponent under 3 runs was July 18th at Colorado. They've been on quite a run.
Yes, they have. Getting great pitching. The team record hasn't been that good over their last 22. Just 11-11. But they've been pitching.
Well, the big thing that is different for them this year, their bullpen. They have been traditionally very strong in the bullpen, and that's not the case this season. Travis spoils a good pitch. The Rays bullpen 14th in ERA, 14th in hits per 9 innings, 13th in home runs allowed, and 12th in strikeouts. They just haven't had the same production out of their bullpen there we've seen.
Lots of turnover. There have been some injuries. Brent Boxberger, who is just now back, has been pretty much hurt all season long. They've had a lot of turnover in that bullpen.
Travis can cover that outside pitch. Erasmo Ramirez got off to a good start, but he has slowed things down. The only real consistent pitcher that's pitched well all season has been Alex Coleman. He's thrown the ball very well.
Yeah, he's been great. Closer. Getting the ball to him, though, it's been a little inconsistent.
You knew sooner or later they're going to throw one up and in.
Sure.
They straighten them up.
And now they'll go right back outside.
I'd come inside if I was them.
They're catching him leaning out over the plate. That's a fastball, 4-seamer up and in. Devin has to duck out of the way, trying to cover that outside pitch. They've been throwing so many of them out there.
Full count, 1 out. Tolley at first base. There he goes. Travis drills this one to left. Tolley will stop at second as Devin Travis turns on that inside pitch and picks up his second hit of the night.
Well, they wanted to make him reach for that ball one more time. They tried to go breaking ball away, but that one backed up on Jake Odorizzi, and that's right there, right on the inner half. Ball is laced into the outfield.
So Travis, with 2 hits tonight, has extended his personal hit streak to 5 straight. Devin's batting average up to .298. Jose Bautista with a sac fly in the first inning. He's now driven home 46 runs this season.
Well, one of the things that he has been doing this year is taking his walk. He's got one of the highest walk rates in all of baseball. He's forcing that pitcher to come into him.
Next one right at the top of the zone. Checking with Larry Vano. See if that's as high as his strike zone goes. Bautista has 58 walks. This is his 79th game. Bautista missed 6 weeks with that toe injury. And in case you're just joining us, the Blue Jays placed Kevin Pillar on the DL this afternoon with a strained thumb ligament.
It's a big pitch right here. 2-1. Huge. And now Bobby Wilson and Jake Odorizzi are not on the same page. Wilson's thinking one thing, pitcher's thinking something else, and you can see Odorizzi told him what he wants to do. This is such a big pitch. If he misses, it's 3-1. If he makes a mistake, it could be 3 runs for the Blue Jays.
Fastball inside. Odorizzi has really fared well in that hitter's count, 2-1 for the season. In 29 at bats, they've hit just 103. So he really focuses in on making good pitches when he's behind 2-1.
He's got good stuff. Got that changeup, that split grip type of changeup that gets him out of a lot of problems.
2-2 to Bautista. Now it's a full count. Donaldson waits on deck. Josh is 1 for 2. Tolley at second, Travis at first.
That is Jim Hickey, the pitching coach for the Tampa Bay Rays. He was telling me today that our pitchers have been outstanding, especially this guy. His fastball command has been great, and his split change has been even better. Putting up a battle. David Bautista. This is another long at bat by the Jays.
Odorizzi has thrown 77 pitches. He has just 1 out in the 4th. Popped up. Infield fly rule in effect. Ball is drifting into foul ground, and Miller makes the catch.
This Blue Jays Rogers 4K broadcast is powered by the Samsung 4K SUHD TV.
What a beautiful shot of the sunset with the CN Tower right next door to Rogers Center. 2-2 ball game as Tampa Bay tied it up in the top half of the 4th. Blue Jays with 2 outs in the bottom half of the 4th.
Two more runners on base. They had 2 runners on base last inning. Couldn't score.
Donaldson had a Base hit to right field his last time up. He's 1 for 2. He has 3 career home runs against Jake Odorizzi. He is now 4 for 16 against Odorizzi. Donaldson really was fortunate when he was hit by that pitch from Kelvin Herrera in Kansas City. Herrera hit Donaldson in the 9th inning on Friday night. Hit him in the face, but fortunately it caught some of his protective ear flap over his left ear.
That was a scary at bat. If you've ever been in there, and as hard as Herrera throws, I mean, you got to gear up and get ready to hit that fastball. Luckily for Josh and the Blue Jays, it was a changeup. Still didn't make it hurt any less. But he was able to duck that head just in time to catch it, a piece of that off the ear flap.
A ball and 2 strikes. Again, Wilson and Odorizzi taking a little bit too long getting together on the signs. Swing and a miss, and Donaldson heads for first. The bases are loaded as Donaldson swung right through that pitch, and it went right through the wickets of Bobby Wilson, the catcher, all the way back to the screen. And that'll load the bases.
Boy, the Blue Jays catch a break. Jim Hickey can't believe what he just saw right there. He's trying to get through the toughest part of the order of the Blue Jays. Thinks he's out of the inning. Change up. Donaldson, that's strike 3, the 3rd out of the inning. But Wilson can't keep the ball in front of him. Can't get down fast enough to block it. Josh hustles down the first base, slides just in case there was a throw. Now the Blue Jays have the bases loaded and 2 outs, and they need a big hit.
There's a big hit right there. Coley's in to score. Here comes Travis. Here's the throw. It's not in time. There's a big hit. Edwin Encarnacion, a 3 RBI night.
Give a good team some extra chances, and they should take advantage of it. Blue Jays should have been out of this inning, but Edwin's going to cash 2 huge runs for him after the mistake. He's not waiting around. Bases loaded, no place to put him. First pitch swinging, 2 runs for the Blue Jays.
When Donaldson strikes out and reaches on the wild pitch, and then Encarnacion hits the first pitch he sees for a 2-run single. And the Blue Jays get those 2 runs back. They have their lead back. It's 4-2 Jays. Saunders goes after the first pitch and lifts it into center. Easy play for Kiermaier, but Edwin Encarnacion comes up with a big hit, a home run, and a 2-run double for Double E so far tonight. The Blue Jays lead 4-2. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio. tonight. Blue Jays are one game behind the front-running Baltimore Orioles in the AL East, and you can see the reason they're in first in that pennant race is because their rotation has been so good this season.
This is just the starters. It's not the pitching staff. It's the starters, and they have been consistent since day one. They rank first in ERA, opponent's batting average, WHIP, innings, pitches per inning, just 15 pitches per inning. They add Francisco Liriano to that. They've got ground ball pitchers, they've got knuckleball pitchers, lefties, righties, strikeout artists. They've got a little bit of everything in that starting rotation.
It's really interesting, too, when you talk about a six-man rotation, and Pete Walker was talking about it earlier today when he said, you know what, I'd have a problem with it. Ross Atkins, the general manager, is the one that delivered the news to the ball club down in Houston. And Walker said, yeah, if it was April and we were trying to get everybody into the flow of the season, that's one thing. But it's August. Guys have made 22, 23, 24 starts in the case of Dickey. Everybody's pretty much settled into their routine. And I don't care who you are, you're a little bit worn down.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You could use a little bit of a blow. And what I mean by that, some rest, stretch things out just a little bit so you're a little bit more fresh. I think the tricky part about the whole thing is how everybody's going to change in midstream here to get their work in between their starts.
And that's Pete Walker's challenge, obviously, because they are going to have some off days, including Thursday. Forsythe drives it into right field. His second hit of the ball game, a leadoff single here in the fifth. And with that, Pete Walker is on the phone to the bullpen.
You know, they just took the lead. They cannot afford to give Tampa Bay a chance to get back into this. So right away, they get some action down in that bullpen.
Well, the bullpen has been great. They have really put together a nice stretch of games here recently. Joe Biagini, the Rule 5 pitcher, will be first up for the Blue Jays tonight. He has really done a great job in his rookie season. Upstairs, a ball on the strike. Kevin Kiermaier, batting in the 2 spot, has popped out twice. There goes the runner. It's lined to Bautista. The runner at first was off, and he gets back in time.
The Rays trying to play some hit and run that time. Almost backfired on him. Kiermaier hits the ball sharply to right field. They start the runner. It's hit hard at Bautista. Forsythe slipped just a little bit on his way back to first base, but Jose decides not to throw it.
Yeah, when Forsythe picked up the fly to the ball, he saw it right to Bautista, and he put on the brakes. Third baseman Evan Longoria. Longoria gets hit by a pitch. First pitch from Dickey. So now there are 2 aboard, and the red-hot Brad Miller. He doubled and scored his last time up. This is a fastball. You can see the 2-seam grip, and Dickey got underneath it and catches Longoria in the back.
Yeah, got underneath it. He was trying to surprise him with that fastball.
He did. Here is Brad Miller. He extended his hit streak to 7 straight with a double in the 4th. Dickey jumps ahead quickly, 0-2. Brad Miller is 26 years old. He first came up with the Mariners in 2013. Played 3 seasons in Seattle. His best season for average was that first season. He hit .265 in 76 games. That goes off the glove back to the backstop, and the runners will move up. that takes the Rays out of a double play situation.
Puts a couple of runners in scoring position also. One more time. The knuckleball, he's going for the strikeout, so he throws a little bit harder one, and that one right off of the top of the glove once again. Now they need another pop-up or a strikeout.
Second pass ball charged to Tolley tonight. 1-2. That's down the right side. It's a fair ball. 2 runs are going to come in to score. Here's the throw from Bautista as Miller has his second double of the night. And we're tied once again, this time at 4. And John Gibbons is coming out of the Blue Jays dugout. And he makes the call. So R.A. Dickey couldn't hold that lead. He hit Longoria, set the table for Brad Miller after the Tolley pass ball, and Miller cashes in with a 2-run double. So Dickey will turn things over to the bullpen. It's been a very good bullpen of late, and Joe Biagini has done his part. Was hot. R.A. Dickey gives up 2 doubles to Brad Miller. The second one comes and he drives in 2 runners at second and third. Miller hooks it down the right field line. That chases home Logan Forsythe, and Evan Longoria right behind him scores. That ties the game at 4-4 and knocks Dickey out of the ball game.
He's a free swinger who is swinging a hot bat right now. He's got that leg kick working for timing. He has hit a couple of doubles tonight, and now Joe Biagini's got to try and get out of this 5th inning. 40 games this year for Biagini. He's pitched great. 3-2, 222 earned run average. I think he has gone well beyond the expectations for a Rule 5 draftee for the Blue Jays. Pitched in yesterday's game, threw an inning in Kansas City, and it was clean, had a strikeout.
Mikey Matuk doubled and scored. He had an RBI double in the 4th. He drove in Brad Miller, and then he scored on the Tim Beckham double. Curveball, he checks his swing and fouls it back.
And Joe was telling me the other day, he says, I always had a good curveball. Said it was gone for a little bit, but it's come back now, and he's got a lot of spin on that breaking ball.
There are only 2 pitchers in the major leagues that have pitched at least 40 innings and have not given up a home run. Jeurys Familia of the Mets and Joe Biagini.
How about that?
He's really done a fine job of adjusting to the major leagues. He's as hard a worker as we see on the team, and he's always down in the bullpen before the game, working on his delivery, going through his delivery without throwing a baseball, just trying to make sure he refines his delivery. And because of that, it's been very consistent.
Timing and balance. He was telling me the other day when we saw him doing that iron out some of the flaws he feels he might have in his delivery.
Devin Travis takes the hot shot, throws to first to retire Matuk, and on the play, Miller goes to third. Biagini had one of the more interesting battles in the 8th inning on Wednesday down in Houston. When Jose Altuve was at the plate, Russell Martin, the catcher, indicated ball 4 with runners at second and third. John Gibbons didn't want to walk him and gave Biagini the opportunity to pitch to Altuve. He got Altuve to line out on the first pitch and then struck out Carlos Correa, the fine young cleanup hitter of the Astros, to end the 8th inning.
That was something, wasn't it? That inning? I mean, that was the ball game right there, and Joe was right in the middle of it.
Change up to center field. Upton is there. Another good job by Biagini. He comes in to put out the fire with a runner at scoring position. It's a 4-4 game.
Sportsnet Now, a new way to live stream sports without having cable TV. Visit sportsnet.ca/now to start your free trial today. Guys, I'm sure you can both remember those summer days when you were a kid and mom and dad would lug out the big, huge TV in the backyard so you can watch TV on a nice night. You don't have to do that anymore. You just bring out your little tablet. It makes life so much easier in the summer.
Barry, we had one black and white TV with rabbit ears.
One.
And the tinfoil, right?
And it was in the
about
middle
15
of
inches.
Yeah, and everybody crowded around the TV in the living room. That was it.
One, and it was black and white. We had 3 channels.
Black and white, yep. Fred Tulowitzki leads things off for the Blue Jays. Bottom of the 5th. Jake Odorizzi has now thrown 85 pitches. So you've got to believe the Blue Jays are going to get into the Rays bullpen soon. Off the plate.
Well, they haven't offered at those pitches, and they have made him work. They've also left 7 runners on base in 4 innings.
Blue Jays 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Tulowitzki hits it high into center, but not deep enough. Kiermaier waits on it. 1 down. Now, Blue Jays haven't been able to come up with many clutch hits of late. And there's been a real problem for them. They've gotten base runners on. As we mentioned, they hit just 193 in 7 games on the road trip.
Finally got one last inning. That base hit by Edwin Encarnacion, they've also had guys on. They haven't had one of those bases clearing double type of at-bats where you've got guys on, they hit a double, and they still have a guy in scoring position, and now 2 or 3 runs score.
The batter is Daryl Siciliani. He's 0 for 2 in his return to the big leagues. One and two, another changeup from Odorizzi. The runs are even at 4 apiece. The hits are even at 4 apiece. The Blue Jays have stranded 7. The Rays have left 5. Odorizzi grabs it and flips to first. 2 down.
A lot of things have changed, but one thing hasn't. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays, proud fan since 1977.
Melvin Upton Jr. 1 for 2 against his former team. He takes a hack at it and fouls it into the seats. You mentioned Upton's great postseason in 2008. He had 7 home runs in the division series and in the league championship series. He had quite a run. He and Longoria really had great stretches during the division series.
Single-handedly took out the Boston Red Sox, didn't he?
And then the Philadelphia Phillies changed their approach. He takes strike 3 on the fastball, so Odorizzi with a 3-up, 3-down inning here in the 5th will go to the 6th. It's a 4-4 game. Started tonight, and he didn't fare as well as he did last Tuesday when he pitched so well against the Astros. Tonight he goes 4 1/3. 89 pitches over those 4 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. He walked 3 and struck out 3. He got out of a first inning jam. He stranded the bases loaded in the first, but then they got to him with 2 runs in the 4th, 2 more in the 5th, and he is out of the ball game early, and Joe Biagini has taken over.
Couldn't figure out Brad Miller. He was the guy who stuck it to him. Leadoff double in the 4th, came around to score a clutch double in the 5th that knocked him out of the game, and now it's up to Biagini and the rest of the pen. It'll probably be our pen versus their pen type of thing tonight. Both starters a little wobbly.
Biagini throws a first pitch strike. Steven Souza Jr. is the DH tonight. He has walked and flied out. There's a drive to center field. Upton is back. It's over his head, up against the wall. Souza is headed for second. He'll get there with a leadoff double. The Rays have hit the doubles tonight. That's their 5th double so far.
It's also the 3rd straight inning that they have led off with a base hit. Jays have not been able to retire that leadoff batter in an inning except one time tonight. Low fastball. Souza, a very good low ball hitter with a lot of power, goes down and gets this one. No chance for Upton to run this one down. It's just hit too hard and too far. Got to play it off the wall.
Beckham has one of the 5 doubles. He had an RBI double in the 4th. He bunts it and foul tipped it. 4-4 ball game. We're in the 6th, and Steven Souza Jr. has hit a leadoff double. 5 of the 7 hits have been doubles for the Rays. And we always talk about doubles, how it keeps a pitcher in a jam.
All he has to do is turn around and see a guy in scoring position.
Dylan Floro, a right-hander, is loosening up. Looks like he is just kind of standing by ready, like he might have already gotten loose and he's just staying loose. Beckham continues to show bunt and pulls the bat back.
Now that he's ahead in the count, they might take the bunt off. Let him go ahead and swing.
I'm a little surprised they're bunting in this situation in the 8th spot in the lineup with Bobby Wilson coming up next. He might be just bunting on his own, but I don't see any reason for it. This guy's got some pop in this bat. Ground ball. Travis will look at third. He's going to make a throw, and he got it. Devin Travis took a peek at Souza and made a terrific throw to Donaldson. Josh came off the bag and was in front of third when he caught the ball and tagged Souza for the out.
You know, just last inning, Miller was at second base and Matuk hit a ball to Travis, and he looked and he thought about throwing to third base. Well, wouldn't you know it, the next inning they've got a runner at second base and there's a small ground ball and he shortens up and he gets a fast runner. That is a big out for the Blue Jays. A tag applied by Donaldson.
What was impressive is how far Travis had to run to his left to catch the ball, and then turned back against his body and threw a seed over to third. I mean, he went 2 or 3 steps to his left to catch the ball.
Well, watch it. Look how he's shortening up and he's starting to come in, anticipating that they're going to swing. I mean, he played that play through his mind, because just last inning the same thing happened and he had thoughts of going to third, but recorded the out over at first base. That's a heads-up play right there.
Bobby Wilson bounced into a double play in the second. He lined out in the fourth. Ball in the strike. Well, the Blue Jays have played good defense. They have really tightened it up on the infield. They don't make many errors on the infield. Devin had a rough game in Houston. He committed 2 errors in the same game. Tulowitzki, can't remember the last time he made an error. Edwins made some terrific defensive plays. One in Kansas City that was going to be a double for sure. Donaldson at third. Second for 1. Back to first. They got him again. A 5-4-3 double play for a second time off the bat of Bobby Wilson. The defense on their toes here in the 6th. Devin Travis made a good play to nail Souza. Then he turns the double play to end the inning.
Is Canada's largest and only official team shop for your Toronto Blue Jays. New 2016 authentic jersey with 40th season sleeve patches now available. Get yours today at jshop.ca, and as you can see, a wide range of caps as well. And guys, a busy time at J Shop with so many new jerseys to make.
Lots of new names on this roster, and you can bet the fans want to get the latest ball players' jersey to make sure they have them all. We move to the bottom of the 6th. What a defense. We mentioned how good they have played, and in that inning, Devin Travis made the great play to nail Souza at third, and then Donaldson started the double play.
Pitching and defense is going to win you a few games, isn't it?
It's always been the case. Josh Tolley was hit by a pitch, and he scored on the Encarnacion RBI single. Josh playing back-to-back games as he caught yesterday in Kansas City with Marcus Stroman starting. John Gibbons has talked to Pat and I about the catching rotation with a 6-man staff. Instead of Russell catching all 5, he'll pick his spots to get Josh Tolley in there and catch somebody other than Dickey.
And yesterday was one of them. Day game after a night game. You throw him in there, and then you get him with the knuckleballer, and that's Joaquin Benoit starting to get loose. Yeah, you got 6 starters. Russell's not going to catch 5 of them. It's just too grinding on a catcher.
1-2 to Tolley. Chases that high fastball.
Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Proud partners of the Toronto Blue Jays. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Devin Travis, the man of the hour. He is 2 for 3. He's scored a pair of runs. He's made 2 double play pivots, and he made a fine defensive throw to nail Steven Souza Jr. at third.
And he got his first big league triple. He's doing okay tonight. How about that on base percentage? .337 to go along with 10 home runs. All of that in just 228 at bats.
Floro was up earlier. Brad Baxberger has joined him now. Or is he nearing the end? Travis hits it off the end of the bat. Kiermaier broke back, and he got fooled. Travis with a big swing hit it right off the end of the bat. Kiermaier's first move was back. As Travis hit it off the end of the bat, you can see Kiermaier is upset with himself.
Yeah, he's a Gold Glove winner. One of the best in the outfield. He's playing him that way. He takes 2 steps into the gap back and then realizes that ball's off the end of the bat, so he does the right thing. He just stays back, catches it on one hop and fires it back in, but he's upset with himself. Misreading that one.
Devin Travis now over 300 with 3 hits tonight. I don't care who you are or when it is in the season, when you say he's hitting 300, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. You can look up there, feel happy about yourself, right? When you see your average up on that scoreboard.
For Travis, that's his 9th 3-hit game of his career. The 6th time he's done it this season. Jose Bautista with a ball and a strike.
There's a hole on the right side of the infield if he wants to shoot for it. Now they have pitched him away tonight. Miller, the first baseman, first time he's playing first base in his career, has to hold the runner on. They face him and play him up the middle. He wants to take a shot over there.
Base hit for Bautista through the left side into left field. Jose's first hit of the night.
They wanted that ball away. Bobby Wilson, the catcher, had set up on the outside corner. Odorizzi missed his spot. I think that's what Jim Hickey and Kevin Cash are pondering right there. Maybe he's losing his stuff in the form of control.
Well, man, too, you're facing the hitters for a 4th time. So Odorizzi will hand things off to the skipper. Looks like he called for Brad Boxberger. It is Boxberger who's going to come on to face Donaldson when we come back.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by Honda. A lot has changed in 40 years, but one thing hasn't. Honda, proud fan since 1977. Official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Jake Odorizzi talking with Chris Archer about this start tonight. Odorizzi out of the ball game, 5 1/3. He's allowed 8 hits, 4 runs so far. 2 runners on base are his responsibility, and Brad Boxberger pitching for just the 6th time this season.
The Rays have had 5 40-save seasons in their history. This guy had one of them last year, 41 saves, but some injuries have derailed him just a little bit. That's why he has only gotten into 6 games. This is his 6th game of the season. Basically a fastball changeup combination. He had 74 strikeouts last year.
Boxberger with 41 saves, named to the All-Star team, led the American League with those 41 saves. Only 2 Rays in franchise history have led the American League in saves, and Rafael Soriano had 45 saves to lead the league in 2010. Josh Donaldson struck out and reached base on a wild pitch in the 4th. And wouldn't you know it, on the next pitch, Edwin Encarnacion delivered a 2-run single, all with 2 outs. Edwin's had a 3-ribby night, a home run and a 2-run single.
There's that changeup. It's a pretty tough combination that you have to deal with if you're a hitter. Fastball, changeup. There's the career numbers for Josh against Boxberger. He's got a good changeup. I mean, that can mess with your timing.
Inside, pitch number 5 off the plate inside. We have seen the value of a changeup firsthand all season long. Blue Jays All-Star Marco Estrada has used it very effectively. Donaldson bends back from that heater. 3-2, 1 out. It's a 4-4 game. Devin Travis at second with his 3rd hit of the night. Jose Bautista singled. He's at first. Josh Donaldson is 1 for 3 so far, and Encarnacion waits on deck. Fouled back.
Challenged him with the fastball.
The runners on base are the responsibility of Jake Odorizzi. He's already been charged with 4 earned runs. Looking for some help from Brad Boxberger. Change up, he gets a piece of it.
Figure it was going to be in there sometime. As a hitter, you can't sit on a changeup because you can throw the fastball by you, and you can't sit on the fastball because that thing's going to fool you, that changeup. Right now, with 2 strikes, Josh Donaldson's just got to look for the baseball. Put a good swing on it. That's why he has been such a good hitter over the last couple of years. He's got a repeatable swing.
Popped him in the air. Forsythe, the second baseman, out, makes the catch in the outfield. 2 down. Drive of the game is brought to you by the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Blue Jays already have a run in the 1st inning. Edwin's going to add to that. Changeup just gets enough of it. It's a high, deep drive. He drops it right into the bullpen for the Blue Jays for his 31st home run of the season. And tonight, that is our drive of the game. That was back in the 1st inning.
3 RBIs tonight. Edwin has 94 for the season. Edwin is currently 7 ahead of David Ortiz, who's second with 87. Albert Pujols has 86, and he has come out of the All-Star break smoking. And Mike Napoli, what a season he's put together for the Indians. And Josh Donaldson has 77. He's tied with Mark Trumbull of the Orioles.
He's already got 299 tonight, doesn't he?
300 right here. The high fastball, 94 miles an hour. The Blue Jays strand 2 more. Been a tough night, coming up with a big hit. 4-4 game. We head to the 7th.
Jays fans should be without the Sportsnet app. It lets you stay up to date with the latest scores, breaking news, game highlights, and analysis of Canada's team. You can even stream the Blue Jays live on the go. Download the free Sportsnet app today. We go to the 7th inning. Here's Buck Martinez and Pat Tabler.
Thank you very much, Barry Davis. Another good crowd on hand tonight, and it has been consistent. 43,812 here at ballpark, and they are watching Joaquin Benoit get ready to start the 7th.
Boy, what a job he has done since the Blue Jays acquired him from Seattle for Drew Storen. Combined 32 games with Seattle and Toronto, 1-1 in ERA, just over 4. He has come in and taken over that 7th inning for the Jays.
Benoit pitched one season with Tampa Bay. That was in 2010, and what a year he put together. He appeared in 63 games. He had a 132 earned run average. He gave up 30 hits and 60 in the 3rd innings. Soriano, we mentioned, he had that great season in 2010. He had 45 saves. That led the American League. But according to many of the Tampa Bay staff, Benoit was equally important.
Yeah, Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, he was there that day. He said he was their best pitcher. He gave up, check this out, before the All-Star game, the All-Star break, he gave up 2 runs in the first half of the season. 7 in the second half. 9 all season long. 9 runs.
In 60 and the 3rd innings of relief. Downstairs. 3-1 to the leadoff man. Blue Jays haven't been very good at keeping that leadoff man off base. Only one time tonight have they retired the leadoff man in an inning. That was in the 3rd. And it was Logan Forsythe. He reaches again. The Blue Jays have really done a great job of bringing the fans to the ballpark. They've been playing great baseball, and because of that, the fans have come out. You see, the average attendance this season in the American League, the Blue Jays are atop the American League, more than the Yankees, Angels, and Red Sox, and it has been consistent. Another crowd of 43,812 here tonight, and it's Monday night.
That'll put them over 2.3 million on the season. Number 1 in the American League.
Kevin Kiermaier takes a strike. Kiermaier's 0 for 3 so far in this game. There's a base hit to right. Forsythe's around second. Bautista will play it back in. Kiermaier cruises into second base with yet another double.
How many times have we said that tonight?
6 times they have hit doubles.
And again, a good pitch by Benoit. Got him out in front. When he just gets enough of it, gets it into the outfield with his great speed. He's going to turn that into a double easily. There's the splitter. Down and away. Hits it right off the end of the bat. We have seen some swings tonight from Tampa Bay that have resulted in some doubles, but they've had good plate coverage.
John Gibbons wants the infield to play back with Longoria. We're in the 7th inning of this 4-4 game. First pitch splitter for a strike.
Yeah, some of those swings haven't been pretty, but they've been effective for Tampa tonight. Blue Jays will concede 1 run as they play the infield back.
Well, another good splitter. 0-2 to Longoria. Benoit picked up a save on that 7-game road trip. He made 3 appearances on the road trip, a total of 3 innings, allowed just 1 hit. What a job by Benoit to strike out Longoria, and Longoria shaking his head.
3 straight splitters to finish him off. Now Blue Jays, they have some options now what to do with Brad Miller. Benoit got that great split finger fastball. As a hitter, you'd think it's a fastball, but it's drops. 3 straight to Longoria. Looks like they're going to pitch to Miller.
Miller is just 1 for 1 against Benoit. 1 out. Miller is 2 for 3 with a pair of doubles. I think John Gibbons trusts the experience of Benoit to pitch with a base open. See if he can't expand the strike zone of Miller without putting him in a bases loaded situation.
Keep using that splitter. Maybe you can get a ground ball to Edwin and back to the mound.
Fly ball to right. Bautista coming in. Forsythe going back to tag. Here's the throw to the plate, and they won't challenge the arm of Bautista. Forsythe was a little bit late going back to tag up. For some reason, a little indecisive. But Bautista made an accurate throw to the cutoff man.
You know what he did? He made a quick throw. Watch Forsythe one more time. He's thinking, he's not sure. And watch Bautista get rid of that thing quickly. It's a little bit off target, but Blue Jays will take it.
Absolutely. Forsythe, I don't understand. He had to just go back to the bag. That was a routine fly ball to right. No reason to jockey off the base. Big out for Benoit. Mikey Matuk. Nothing wrong with that pitch.
I think Benoit thought that was a strike. That's why he is backed off the mound. He's going to regroup. Matuk was taking that pitch all the way. He wanted to take a look at what Benoit has to offer.
Tampa Bay 3 for 13 in this game with runners in scoring position. They've had runners in scoring position all night long.
So have the Jays. Jays have left 9 on base through 6.
And the Jays are just 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. That's why we're tied at 4. 2-0 to Mikey Matuk.
He might come out of his shoes right here swinging on this 2-0 pitch.
Bet you he gets a splitter.
Yeah, that's what I'd throw him. You got a base open that you can work with, even though you're behind in the count.
Slider. Experience of Benoit winning out.
Yes, he knows the hitter. He knows the situation. First base is open. You know, this guy wants to do some damage right here. 2-0. He was expecting fastball.
Another slider. This one's too far outside. Nick Franklin is on deck. It's a 3-1 count, 2 outs. We're in the top half of the 7th. Fastball popped in the air. Upton calls for it. Nice job by Benoit. He gives up a walk and a double, but strands a pair, keeps it a 4-4 game.
On August 18th, an exclusive event at Rogers Center hosted by Sportsnet's Hazel May, featuring sports-focused panel discussions in support of Jays Care. Visit BlueJays/Extra Innings to get your tickets today. And guys, with the game tied at 4, I think that's the last thing we want to see tonight is extra innings.
Blue Jays will play as long as they have to win a game right now, and they're going to face a new pitcher. It'll be Xavier Cedeno from Puerto Rico coming in to pitch. Cedeno picking up after Boxberger closed out for 6th.
Their only lefty in the pen. Look what lefties are hitting against him. 194. He's got a couple of them scheduled this inning. 35 strikeouts, just 10 walks in 35 and a third innings. Average fastball, curveball. It's a good one. He will use that against the lefties. He's just a situational lefty. And this calls for the lefty here with Saunders, Tulowitzki, and Siciliani scheduled.
Breaking ball for ball 1. Saunders has walked twice. He's officially 0 for 1 tonight. Takes a close pitch off the plate inside.
Boy, he's had some good at-bats this year against left-handed pitching. He has hit his share of home runs against lefties. He has used the whole field against lefties. Now he's got to pick out a good one right here.
.284 average for Saunders against left-handed pitching. He's hit 8 of his 19 home runs against lefties. Saunders walks for a 3rd time tonight. Leadoff walk. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. R.A. Dickey and Jake Odorizzi were the starters in this ball game. They have since departed. They are both saddled with a no decision as we're playing in the bottom of the 7th in a 4-4 game. Troy Tulowitzki, the batter. That gets off the glove of Wilson. Bobby Wilson is a very good catch and throw guy. Tonight he's had his problems catching just the third time with this ball club, and he hasn't had a lot of innings behind the plate with this pitching staff.
And if you don't think it matters what a guy's breaking ball is going to do or how his fastball moves, you're crazy. He is not very familiar with this pitching staff, and at least tonight it shows he's having some trouble blocking balls and catching balls.
Troy Tulowitzki 0 for 2. Pitch down in the dirt.
That's 6 in a row from Cedeno. Out of the strike zone.
We had told you what a problem the bullpen has been for Kevin Cash and the Rays this season, and that problems continue. Make a pitching change and you expect the bullpen to come in and throw strikes, and Cedeno has yet to throw a strike. The bullpen under the guidance of Jim Hickey, he knows this isn't the best bullpen they've had for a while. They are 14th in earned runs average. They are 14th in hits per 9 innings. Three and 0. Nobody is warming up in the Rays bullpen. Siciliani, another left-handed bat, is on deck.
Time to get the righties up. He's their only lefty.
There's a strike. 3-1. Saunders with the leadoff walk, his third walk of the ball game. Tulowitzki walked in the first. Now it's 3-2. Flora was up earlier. Looks like he's going to get up once again. He was throwing with Boxberger in the 6th inning when Boxberger came in to retire Donaldson and Encarnacion. Ball 4, back-to-back walks. Cedeno coming into the ball game in a tie game has walked the first 2 batters.
Boy, and they just got that righty up, and now there's some decisions. Now the Blue Jays are going to send a pinch hitter up there. So has the right-hander thrown enough to get ready? That's what Jim Hickey's trying to find out right now.
Flora was up earlier. He shouldn't take many pitches. Plus he gets 8 if they call him into the game. Russell Martin will bat for Siciliani.
He's working quicker. He looks like he's ready. How quick he's trying to get that ball and get loose, but looks like he's got it. Yeah, and the message has come down.
Yeah, because he was up earlier, it shouldn't take him long. And now with the walk from the manager to the mound, he'll have 3 or 4 more pitches, and then he'll get 8 more when he comes in. Plenty of time for him to get ready. So Cedeno comes in and walks Saunders and Tulowitzki. The Blue Jays send a pinch hitter to the plate, Russell Martin. Cedeno is out. Floro coming in to face Martin when we come back in this 4-4 game. pitcher for Tampa Bay, Dylan Floro, making his 10th appearance of the season. He's worked just 10 2/3 innings, and he's been given a tough spot here in the 7th.
He was selected from their AAA team on July the 6th. He made his debut the next day. He was an all-star in the International League, originally a 13th round draft pick back in 2012 from Cal State Fullerton. He's a sidearmer type of pitcher with a lot of sink and run on his fastball. His best pitch is a slider. It's a slurvy slider type of pitch. And he'll also throw a changeup. He will get the pinch hitter, Russell Martin.
Russell Martin hit a game-tying home run in the 9th on last Monday down in Houston. That would send the game into extra innings. The Blue Jays would lose that game 2-1 in 14. Martin on the road trip 4 for 21. Back-to-back walks to Saunders and Tulowitzki. Nobody out. 2-0.
He'll give you a good at bat. He's going to take a look at that fastball. You can see it's got a lot of movement, arm side movement to it. Late movement on the fastball. Russell takes that second one for ball 2.
Had a good rip. It's now 2-1 to Martin.
With that kind of movement, you've got to figure he's a ground ball type of pitcher. So you got to make him get that ball up.
Russell is a pinch hitter this season, 0 for 5. He hasn't started since Saturday in Kansas City, and Harry Vanover is saying, let's not rush the veteran. Martin is set. Three and 1.
Gotta bet it's coming right here, right? That sinking fastball. Make him bring the ball up. If it starts at your knees, it's going to fall out of the strike zone. Look for that ball that starts about thigh high. Ball 4.
That loads the bases with nobody out. 3 consecutive walks for the Blue Jays here in the 7th inning. Tampa Bay has walked 6 tonight. Melvin Upton Jr. is 1 for 3. You see, Justin Smoke has grabbed the bat. He's out on deck.
That ball ran way off the plate. Here's his chance right here to get back at his former team. And you want to zone him up right in the middle of the plate.
The infield is in. Right at the edge of the grass.
Coming home. Get one into the outfield.
Lay off that low pitch.
Yes. That's what they're banking on. They're counting on you to swing at it.
Blue Jays have had opportunities all night long. Bases loaded, nobody out. One and 2.
Make contact. Cut down your swing right now. You got the infield in. His best pitch is his curveball. Curveball / slider. That's what he likes to go to for strikeouts.
Off the plate with the fastball. 2 and 2. Does he have enough confidence to throw the breaking ball 2-2? Fastball for the strikeout. First out of the inning.
That bat was set out on that first pitch that was out of the strike zone. And then came back with his bread and butter pitch, that sinking fastball. Watch how it gets underneath the bat. And it looks like it's low. See how it started at the knees?
So Upton strikes out for a second time. Jim Hickey, he will do this often. When a team sends a pinch hitter to the plate, he'll come out and remind both the pitcher and the catcher about the approach for the new hitter into the game. And that'll be Justin Smoke, who's been announced into the game batting for Josh Toller.
Yeah, I was talking to Smokey today, and he said, I've been so anxious at the plate, wanting to do something dramatic. I got to slow myself down. I got to make that pitcher come to me instead of trying to be a little bit over aggressive, swinging through a lot of pitches. I would look for that first pitch sinker right here, cut my swing down, and try and hit a double.
1 out, bases still loaded. Bounced into dirt. Nice play by Wilson. Well, I think hitters get anxious in this situation, but they have to remember who's the guy in trouble.
That's right. The guy out on the mound. And what you want to do is you want to make him come to you. Make him throw you a strike.
Two and 0. I mean, you really have to keyhole here and make sure it's in one spot. A fastball you're looking for middle of the plate and about knee high.
And again, don't be too anxious. Make him come to you.
Ground ball back to the pitcher. Home for 1. And this is going to be interesting as the slide takes out the catcher. Saunders takes out Bobby Wilson, the catcher, who looked like he was going to make a throw to first.
They're going to look at it. We talked about this in Kansas City. And the rulings say slide into any base. From here, it looked like Michael Saunders slid right to home plate. That is right at the plate. It's just that Bobby Wilson's foot was in the way.
Yeah, and he hit him with his knee, not with his spikes. As you can see, it's a bent leg slide, and he didn't hit him with his spikes. He hit him with his knee. So they get the force out at home. Wilson was getting in position to make a throw, and he's knocked to the ground by the slide of Saunders.
Watch the slide. Watch where he ends up. He's sitting on top of the plate.
Right over home plate. So Saunders, nothing wrong with that slide. He's out on the force at home. Smoke gives way to the pinch runner Barney, who will stay in the game and play left field. Martin will stay in the game to catch, of course. Devin Travis has never had a 4-hit game. He's got 3 hits tonight. Oh and 1. 0 and 2. Outside. The Blue Jays had the bases loaded and nobody out. Upton struck out. Smoke bounced into a fielder's choice, and now Devin Travis behind 1 and 2. Base hit up the middle. Tulowitzki's in to score. Travis with his 4th hit of the night.
Well, the Blue Jays have the right guy at the plate. He has been swinging a hot bat. You could just see the confidence in Devin Travis, even though he fell behind 0-2. His confidence at the plate, he was just waiting for something out over the plate. How about this swing? Rips it right back through the middle. They can only score 1 run because it was hit so hard, and Kiermaier, the center fielder, covers a lot of ground, but Blue Jays got the right hitter up there.
First big league triple in his first at-bat in his first 4-hit game in the big leagues. 4 for 5. 2 runs scored, and the go-ahead RBI. Bautista goes out to the first pitch. Martin's in to score. Here comes Barney right behind him, and Jose will get to second with a big 2-out double.
Remember, we were talking earlier about the Blue Jays just haven't had one of those bases clearing hits in a long time. Well, this was one of them right here. Anybody but Kiermaier in center field, they're going to get 3 runs. Look at them, cut that ball off, get it back in, and Blue Jays will score 2. But a clutch hit by Bautista. Hits the ball into the gap. Blue Jays get some insurance with that hit.
Bautista with a 3 RBI night. Jose had a sac fly in the first. He drove in the first run of the game. And here he delivers a big 2-run, 2-out double. His 17th double of the season.
2 out base hits. Clutch tonight.
Donaldson is the 8th Blue Jay to bat in the 7th inning, and it's been a long time since we've said that. It all started with 3 straight walks by the Rays bullpen. Cedeno walked 2, and then Floro came in and walked the first man he faced. All 3 of those walks starting the inning. This is the first 10-hit game for the Blue Jays since July 30th. On Saturday before they left on that road trip. That's the game Kevin Pillar had a pair of 2-run doubles.
I think is that the last time they hit something other than a solo home run?
No, that was even earlier than that.
That was before that.
I think that was on the 26th when Donaldson hit a 2-run home run, and then Smoke hit the first of 17 straight solo homers. Donaldson called out on strikes. That ends the inning, but what a big inning it was. Blue Jays scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th. Devin Travis, his 4-hit game, his 4th hit drives in the go-ahead run. Then Jose Bautista right behind him delivers a 2-run double. came in and did a great job after allowing the first 2 to reach in the 7th. Now the other 39-year-old reliever that's been a big shot in the arm for this bullpen, Jason Grilli, takes over in the 8th.
Yeah, ever since they acquired him from Atlanta back in May, since joining the Blue Jays on May 31st, his ERA 2.08. So he has pitched the 8th inning now, and he will come in here with a 3-run lead. A couple other defensive changes for the Blue Jays.
Russell Martin pinch hit for Siciliani, the left fielder. He stays in the game. Barney took over as a pinch runner for Smoke, who batted for Josh Tolley. So the Blue Jays have unloaded their bench. All of their position players are into the game. But they have a 3-run lead, 7-4 Jays in the 8th. Grilli will face Nick Franklin to start things off. Franklin is 0 for 3. Joaquin Benoit walked the first man he faced in the 7th and gave up a double. So it was 2nd and 3rd with no outs, but not a problem for Benoit. He struck out Longoria on 3 splitters, then got Miller and Letuk to fly out.
Yeah, that was the key at bat. I thought the Evan Longoria at bat when he struck him out. Then the short fly ball to right field, and then Letuk struck out. Now it's up to Grilli. Jason's had some time off. He did not appear in that series in Kansas City. He last pitched on the 4th. They have used him a lot, and he has responded. But he got those 3 days off in Kansas City.
He made 2 appearances in the Houston series. He picked up a save, pitched a total of 2 innings, allowed just 1 hit, and struck out 2. So those are the only 2 games he appeared in the 7-game road trip.
Been using him a lot. A lot of close games for the Blue Jays.
They haven't been hitting. 7 runs on 10 hits tonight. That's sweet music for John Gibbons. Grilli has certainly taken over as the leader in the bullpen. Today, prior to batting practice, he had a little impromptu meeting with the relievers down the left field line before they started their conditioning and working out. Don't have any idea what he was talking about, but he was rallying the troops at the start of this homestand.
And they've got to listen to him. He has seen it all in the big leagues. He's a leader. I mean, if you talk to him, you just love listening to his stories and his travels around baseball and some of the accomplishments.
He wears his emotions on his sleeve, which is a good thing. And he's pitching for his childhood team. He was a Blue Jay fan growing up. Fly ball to center. Upton over toward left center, makes the catch. 1 down. Well, the Blue Jays are right where they want to be. They are right in the midst of the AL East pennant race. They're a game behind the Baltimore Orioles. Each team has won 63 games. Boston had a rough swing out west as David Price got beat again. And they just have not really hit full stride. And they've been making a lot of changes, too. They've been trying a lot of different combinations of young players up to the big leagues.
Yeah, bringing them up from their farm system. They're still in it.
The Blue Jays will see the Yankees next week in New York, and it'll be a totally different ball club than we saw earlier in the season.
No Chapman, no Miller, no A-Rod, no Ivan Nova.
First pitch breaking ball to Steven Souza Jr. He doubled in the 6th and was retired on a fine defensive play by Devin Travis as Souza was trying to advance on a batted ball to the second baseman, and Travis threw him out.
Huge play. Maybe the turning point in this game.
High fly ball. Bautista backpedaling now. 2 away. Joaquin Benoit and Jason Grilli, they might get beat from time to time, but they're not going to beat themselves. They pitch to the scoreboard. They know where they are in their lineup. They think about who they're going to face. They understand their strengths, and they're going to pitch to the hitter's weakness and to their strengths.
And you know they've got that scouting report right up here, right in the back of their mind, how to get these guys out. I have really enjoyed watching Russell Martin and Jason Grilli work together.
So has Russell Martin. Russell Martin reunited with a couple of his former Pirate teammates. First it was Grilli, and secondly, most recently, it's Francisco Liriano. And Russell loves working with both of the pitchers. It's a wicked breaking ball.
I asked him if has he always been able to throw a good breaking ball? He says, yeah, I have. I used to throw a curveball when I was a starter, and now it's more of a slider. Jim Leyland moved me into the bullpen in 2006 when I was with the Tigers. We went to the World Series. It worked out. I started using my slider a little bit more. He credits his father with teaching him how to spin a breaking ball, and it's a great off-speed pitch.
Strike three with a fastball. 3 up, 3 down for Grilli. Benoit and Grilli have retired the last 6 they've faced. They'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Blue Jays lead at 7-4. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio. Pitcher for the Blue Jays, and he delivers a strike 3 pitch to Tim Beckham right at the knees.
Lots of emotion, first from the batter Beckham, and then second from the pitcher Grilli as he enjoys that last pitch. Tell you what, you get that kind of emotion, you can ride that through the season.
Baseball is an emotional game, and oftentimes you see players not anxious to show their emotions, but that's not the case with Jason Grilli, and he got a big strikeout at the end of the 8th. This is Danny Farquhar, former Blue Jay, who is now pitching with Tampa Bay. This will be his 13th appearance with the Rays.
Manny Romero went on the disabled list just recently. 15-day disabled list, the big left-hander for Tampa Bay. His spot was taken on the roster by Danny Farquhar. That's why he's only thrown in 12 games this season. Well, I love that kind of emotion. I love to see that at the end of a big inning like that. Strikeout.
These are big games, obviously. Encarnacion hits the bouncing ball to third. That was really unusual. There was a very odd sound to that, as if it might have hit the catcher's glove or something, but Encarnacion never hesitated. He broke out of the box and has himself his 3rd hit of the night.
Yeah, or the plate. It bounced so high. Listen. That's right off the plate.
Bounced right off the plate. That was the sound of that rubber plate. Ball hit right off home plate. Longoria trying to make the play on the short hop and can't come up with it. 3-hit night for Encarnacion.
Well, it's a good time to drop a bunt down right here. They are shifted over against Michael Saunders. The whole left side is yours if you want it. Look at that. That is Evan Longoria, the closest man, the closest fielder to the ball on the left side.
All you got to do is square around and bunt it. No surprise, no element. Just square around and bunt it. Bunt it hard down the third baseline. Edwin Encarnacion has 3 hits. Devin Travis has 4 hits. It's the first 3-hit game for Encarnacion since June 11th. Now check that. He had a 3-hit game on June 25th. But they have been few and far between. But he's been driving in runs.
Yeah, I'll take the RBIs and the home runs. He's had three RBIs tonight.
Upstairs, 2-2 to Saunders. Michael is the DH tonight. Jose Bautista's had a 3 RBI night. He's had a couple of hits. He's 2 for 4. The offense has put up 7 runs on 11 hits. There's a nice swing from Saunders. Single into center. Back-to-back hits off Farquhar.
Slow things down. Good 2-strike approach right there for Michael Saunders. Watch how the bat just flows down and just stays with it. And like I said, there was one fielder on the left side of the infield. Just get it by him, you got an easy hit.
We're in the bottom of the 8th. The Blue Jays with their first game of this 3-game series against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has a 6-4 edge over the Blue Jays for the season. Way outside, it's 2-0.
Tampa Bay's also won 3 games in a row here. There's Osuna and Barnes. Osuna, if it stays a 3-run game. Blue Jays tack on some runs here. We'll probably see Danny Barnes.
The Blue Jays have scored 7 runs here tonight. They managed 7 runs in the 3-game series in Kansas City. We talked about some home cooking, getting the Blue Jays back here at home at Rogers Center and see if the offense wouldn't come around, and it has. And they broke out against a red-hot pitcher, Jake Odorizzi. He came into this game with a long scoreless streak.
20 2/3. Maybe the hottest pitcher in the American League.
Devin Travis hit a triple to start the game. Tulowitzki lines to the shortstop. Encarnacion is back safely at second. Tulo hit it hard, but right to short.
It's a start. You want to start hitting the ball sharply, having good at bats. That time it's right at the shortstop. Nothing you can do about that.
1 out. Also, Martin drew a walk as a pinch hitter. Came around to score the 6th Blue Jay run of the night.
Hedwig, he wants to score another run. Watch it off on the crack of the bat, but then said, oh, wait a minute, that's right at the shortstop. And he goes back aggressively. See, he's got that pad on that left hand. That protects your wrist when you're a base runner. That might have helped him out when he got back.
And most guys will use that left hand as a brace when they slide feet first and put that down on the ground, and that helps stabilize that wrist. Upstairs to Martin. Jim Hickey has had a long season as far as the bullpen goes. Bullpen came into this game in a 4-4 game. Cedeno walked the first 2 batters he faced. He was out of the game, and then Floro came in and walked Russell Martin, a pinch hitter, to load the bases with nobody out.
And then they got the next 2 batters. And it was Devin Travis and Jose Bautista. 2 biggest hits of the night so far.
Ball in the dirt. Full count, 1 out. Calvin Upton Jr. on deck. He's 1 for 4 tonight. R.A. Dickey started this ball game. He went 4 1/3, charged with 4 earned runs on 6 hits, and then the bullpen has been locked down again tonight. Ground ball to short. Beckham to Forsythe, back to first, double play. That ends the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll go to the 9th. The Blue Jays lead at 7-4. Roberto Osuna making his way toward the mound, coming on for the save.
Rio 2016 Olympic Games coverage on Sportsnet. We'll have it tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. And when you stay tuned to Sportsnet Connected later, you will find out about another medal for Canada today.
So far, so good. The Canadian Olympic team off to a decent start. Here is the closer, Roberto Osuna, making his 51st appearance of the season. He was 2 for 2 in save opportunities on this most recent road trip. 24 for the season.
Yeah, that brings his total to 24 out of 26. ERA outstanding. He's worked 50 innings in his 50 games. He will get a pinch hitter to lead off this 9th inning. He has been great over his last 14. He's only given up 5 hits over his last 14 appearances.
Biagini, Benoit, Grilli, and now Osuna out of the Blue Jays bullpen. This is a pinch hitter. Corey Dickerson batting for Bobby Wilson in the 9th spot. First pitch, strike right at the top of the zone.
It's been a strike tonight, that high strike. Saw it a couple times with the knuckleball.
Dickerson has some power, 15 home runs this season. A .229 batting average.
He won't get cheated either.
That's a good slider. Osuna made a adjustment with his slider. He got a little bit more of a downward break to it as opposed to that side break.
You know, he said it all started from my setup, that as I started to lift my front leg and go towards home, I was turning a little bit too much back towards the infield. He said my father figured that out. We did some work down in the bullpen, and then he gets a strikeout right there.
One down in the ninth. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Sportsnet Central. Here's Ken Reed and Ivanka Osmat. That's all coming up right after this ball game. One out, back to the top of the order. Logan Forsythe has been on base 3 times tonight. Osuna throws another strike. Forsythe with an impressive on-base percentage at .340.
Hitting over 300 against the Blue Jays this year again. He's come up with some big hits.
High, deep drive to left. This ball's going to go out of the ballpark. A home run for Forsythe, his 3rd hit of the night. He's 3 for 4. That's home run number 12 for the leadoff hitter.
Hey, this guy against the Blue Jays this year has hit everything. Can't get this guy out. He's been on base 4 times tonight. Osuna missed his spot. Russell wanted that fastball down and away. He wanted to get Forsythe to reach for it. Watch where Russell is set up, but it comes back over the plate. Forsythe knocks it out of the ballpark.
His 3rd home run of the season against the Blue Jays. He now has 12 hits against the Jays this season. Kevin Kiermaier, he hit a double off Benoit in the 7th. Hopped up. Tulowitzki calls for it. Shortstop backing up. Makes the catch. 2 down.
Good to keep that guy off the bases. He could run, and the tying run would have come to the plate. Osuna made that change we were talking about in that first batter. Said his arm was dragging just a little bit, and his slider was very flat. Now with better mechanics, he can get that arm up, and he's got some depth on that breaking ball now.
Evan Longoria trying to keep the Rays alive here in the 9th. Osuna throws a first pitch strike. Longoria is 0 for 2. He's also walked and was hit by a pitch. Slider. Wicket. Changeup in the dirt. 1-2. Biagini worked an inning and 2/3. He allowed 1 hit. Benoit allowed a hit in his inning. Grilli was perfect with a strikeout. Now Osuna.
It's the guy they've been looking for tonight, right here.
The last out. He wouldn't chase that breaking ball.
He saw it early in the count. So now he knows what it looks like.
ball game. Osuna strikes out Longoria. He picks up the save. Benoit picks up the win in relief, his second win of the season. And the Blue Jays get off the homestand on a good start. And then Encarnacion with a home run, 3 RBI night. Devin Travis a triple in his first 4-hit game of his career, and Jose Bautista drove in 3 runs.
And the Blue Jays stopped that mini 2-game losing streak and stopped the winning streak of Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay have won 3 in a row here. Like you said, Buck, they get the homestand off on a good start, stopping a very pesky and a very good Tampa Bay team.
The Blue Jays win it 7-5. We'll be back for game 2 tomorrow night. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Here's Sportsnet Central. Ken and Ivanka. Take it away.